are still seeing the benefits of digital nuptials.
The two main benefits of going virtual is definitely cutting down costs and cutting down planning stress.
This spring, couples continue to embrace the mini-moni, with plans for a bigger reception later this year.
We're going to see a lot of the trends that happened over the last year carry forward.
And as in-person events bounce back, newly engaged couples are competing for venues with those that postponed last year.
We're definitely seeing weddings booking a year and a half in advance.
With many Saturdays already booked up and fall set to be the busiest ever for weddings, couples are getting creative.
So we're seeing couples plan for Thursday weddings, maybe Sunday brunch, Sunday evening, even into Monday.
Many wedding planning checklists now include health protocols, with more couples and venues starting to require guests to be tested or vaccinated before attending.
The biggest one is this vaccine and negative COVID requirement, which will basically be the only way in which we can operate safely indoors for an event.
One bride, so excited to get the shot, she did it in her dress.
Getting the vaccine is really exciting. It was a celebration.
And a way to make celebrations safer.
It's going to be a little pinch, okay?
Live from Atlanta, 11 Alive News at noon starts now.
COVID protocols. A Metro Atlanta school district introducing new safety measures to protect students, while leaders are hoping the changes will get more students into the classroom. Pending claims. A federal program promising to help with lost wages and medical costs from COVID has hundreds waiting for answers. Why securing the funds isn't easy. And one comedian saying he was racially profiled at the world's busiest airport, right here in Atlanta. What happened and what local police are saying about it today. But first, COVID safety protocols are changing for Marietta City schools. District officials are making adjustments to school guidelines as the CDC shares new recommendations for social distancing. But what does this mean for in-person learning and for teachers and students? 11 Alive's Brittany Kleinpeter is live in Marietta right now. And Brittany, what do the protocols consist of?
So there are some major changes as far as social distancing goes and spacing of desks. I actually just got off the phone with the superintendent, Dr. Grant Rivera, and he said his focus is on the welfare of students and staff, and he believes these changes are going to get more students back into the classroom, and it's also going to eliminate some issues that have come up using these new protocols well into the learning process. Now, he sent out an email earlier this week outlining those new policies, and they include reducing the social distance from 6 feet to 3 feet. And teachers will also have the option to remove barriers separating desks if they are spaced 3 feet apart facing the same direction.
So we're really trying to be, as Marietta, responsive to the data and the science to make sure that if we're not 100% positive that something is effective, then we have to step back and reflect on it. As we look ahead to next September, next August, when we reopen schools, our hope is to resume as close to normal as possible. We want learning to feel as familiar as possible for students.
Now, these changes will go into effect starting Monday, April 26th. The district is still requiring both teachers and staff and students to wear masks until the CDC says otherwise. Marietta Schools is one of the smaller school districts in our area with just under 9,000 students and 12 schools.
Everyone trying to move that needle forward. Thanks so much, Brittany. All week long, MercedesBenz Stadium has been offering walk-ups, and we're learning that it's been a really big success. Health officials at the stadium tell us 7,000 people have walked up to get vaccinated. That was just last week, and they're hoping to beat those numbers this week. Now, the whole point of this was to take down barriers for people who want the shot, and they say it's definitely working.
I think it's a different interest. We're going to keep seeing changes as we go along with this. The folks that were really hungry to get that vaccine initially took all those appointments. Then we're seeing to that next segment of the population that's just like, I want to just be a spontaneous consumer.
And the stadium makes you able to do that. There are two MARTA lines, bus lines, and rideshare options to get people there. And there's no technology involved, and people can be in and out in a matter of 45 minutes. And new today, health officials are having discussions about who may be eligible for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Some say this particular COVID shot may be only used for men, perhaps even limiting use strictly to older people. Now, conversations like these are happening as health officials discuss how to handle cases of blood clotting, possibly linked to the vaccine. All cases involving women between the ages of 18 and 48. Issuing a warning label is another possibility that we can expect, according to hematologist Dr. Manila God.
If the authorities come up with stipulations and added warnings, then we can expect that with those added precautions, the rate will perhaps go down even further.
And right now, the J&J vaccine is still on pause all across the country. However, J&J shipments to Europe have resumed. There are concerns the COVID-19 vaccine could increase the risk of blood clots if you're injured by a vaccine or any treatment related to COVID. There's a federal program now that promises to help you. But Reveal investigator Rebecca Lindstrom says there's a few things you should know first.
Breathe, honey, breathe. Look at her toes cramping up.
Christy Simmons battles tremors.
Honey, sit up.
There is no doubt the video is hard to watch.
They're almost like an epileptic seizure, except I'm completely alert.
It was like devastating.
Roger Loisel struggles to lift his right arm.
The pain was ridiculous. To even get something to drink, I had to hold my wrist with the other hand.
Both believe their injuries have something to do with the COVID-19 vaccine. Both could qualify for the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. It's a long, clunky name for a federal program that reimburses medical costs and lost wages to those injured in this case by a COVID-related treatment. The program isn't just about vaccine, but also injuries from drugs or ventilators used as treatment.
If they get put on a ventilator and somebody set the settings a little too high and then they have a pneumothorax where the lung collapses and all these complications, well, then maybe they have a claim.
That may sound easy, but since June, the Reveal has tracked 255 new claims, none approved. 45 claims have been denied, some likely filed before the pandemic, and 210 claims are still pending medical review.
The way Congress wrote the law that created the program, the evidence needs to be compelling. And compelling is a high level of evidence.
There is help out there. And new this hour, U.S. jobless claims have dropped and has hit a new COVID-19 pandemic low. Officials say jobless claims have decreased by 39,000 claims from the previous week, with about 547,000 people filing new claims, the lowest level for initial claims since March 12th, or March 14th rather, of last year. And Georgia's jobless claims also decreased by more than 8,000 claims, dropping from 38,000 to 30,000. Chesley, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Francesca. Beautiful afternoon. Look at all that sunshine out there. Look at the skies. Not a cloud. You can't even find one in this shot at all. Just brilliant blue skies. And it's going to be nice really for the rest of the afternoon. Into the evening as well. We'll stay nice and dry thanks to high pressure that has now built over our area. And you notice the flags aren't waving at all. Not like yesterday where we had those strong winds out there. Winds are light with the high pressure in the vicinity. So that's where we're going to stay for the rest of the afternoon. Very nice. Enjoy it, although it's a bit cool. So you might want to grab your light jacket. You may need that, or at least a light sweater. We have temperatures in the 50s for the most part. Middle 50s down here to the south. 55 is a popular number for Edenton, Thomaston, over toward LaGrange. 58 in Athens. Yeah, it's the warm spot, a little bit cooler up here to the north where we have temperatures in the 40s. It's going to remain nice. 65 degrees, our afternoon high temperature for today, a little bit below our average for this time of year. We should be in the 70s. We'll get back there by tomorrow, but we'll pay for it with some extra clouds. And rain comes our way just in time for the weekend. We'll talk about that in the full forecast coming up. Francesca?
Looking good, Chesley. Kind of. All right, now to a story creating a lot of chatter on social media. You've probably seen the reaction video. It has gone viral. Actor and comedian Eric Andre says he was racially profiled at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Clayton County Police Department now taking responsibility for this incident. And the department says they made a, quote, consensual encounter with Andre. And they say the actor voluntarily gave investigators information about his travel plans. However, Andre is disputing that narrative. Here's what he says went down. Now, in a series of tweets, he detailed how he was stopped for a random drug search while on his way to his plane heading to California. In more tweets, Andre said he was let go and was able to make it onto his plane, but says that he never ever volunteered for the search. In fact, he says the search didn't happen. He then tagged Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, APD, and Delta using hashtags Jim Crow and racial profiling. And the mayor quickly responding, saying her officers, they weren't involved. Andre said he was glad to hear that APD does not operate this way, and it turns out multiple law enforcement agencies operate out of the airport. Now, Clayton County Police say the actor was never detained. However, in their statement, they didn't exactly or directly address the racial profiling claims. Andre says he is now reaching out to a lawyer about the incident. Switching gears now, what someone may think is funny or a funny prank is really making driving very dangerous. Take a look at the photos on your screen. Marietta police say they got a report of someone possibly throwing rocks and chunks of concrete from an overpass. And this was in the northbound express lanes on I-75 near the All Good Road Bridge last night around 7 o'clock. Several cars were hit and damaged. All the bridges nearby were inspected and they're fine. Police grateful no one was actually hurt in these incidents, but they are asking anyone with information on how this happened to contact them. Happening today, family, friends, and loved ones will say one last goodbye to Dante Wright. The funeral for the 20-year-old father is set to start in the next hour in Minneapolis. Wright was shot and killed by a Brooklyn Center police officer during a traffic stop last week. Former officer Kim Potter says she allegedly mistook her gun for a taser. And yesterday, Wright's family and friends held a public visitation. The family's attorney, Ben Crump, and Reverend Al Sharpton will also attend the service. Sharpton will give the Wright's eulogy. And in Columbus, Ohio, students at Ohio State University staged a protest over the shooting death of 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant by a Columbus police officer on Tuesday. As night fell, the students continued the protest, marching to downtown Columbus, calling for justice. The protests come as Columbus police released body camera video of the shooting. Police say Bryant was threatening two others with a knife. The video shows Bryant lunging at another woman, seen in pink right there, right before Officer Reardon fires 4 shots, hitting Bryant. Officer Reardon, who has been on the police force nearly a year and a half, has been placed on administrative leave during this investigation. And on the heels of 2 more black people killed by the hands of police, along with a guilty verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial, President Biden pushing lawmakers to pass new Police Reform Act. Tracy Potts tells us their progress.
The White House says President Biden will make a personal push to Democrats and Republicans for police reform privately and in next week's address to Congress.
He has every intention of using that as an opportunity to elevate this issue and talk about the importance of putting police reform measures in place. The bar for convicting officers is far too high. It needs to be changed.
Getting 10 Republican votes in the Senate may hinge on one key issue: legal immunity for police officers. Democrats want to get rid of it. The Senate's only black Republican is offering this compromise: sue the department, not the officer.
I think we are on the verge of wrapping this up in the next week or 2, depending on how quickly they respond to our suggestions.
Meantime, the Justice Department is launching a pattern and practice investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department following the conviction of former officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd.
The Department of Justice will be unwavering in its pursuit of equal justice under law.
The investigation will look at policies, training, supervision, and whether police used excessive force against protesters.
Tracy, thank you. Still ahead, helping people in the midst of their own storm. Coming up, we head out to Rainbow Community Shelter, how they're continuing to lend a helping hand while needing relief 6 months after a tornado ripped through, and when officials say the shelter will be fixed.
Is your morning routine feeling a little routine?
Then mix it up. Morning Rush is different.
It's the fast-paced news you need
With all the energy of your morning coffee. Come see the difference on Morning Rush, weekdays on 11 Alive.
Weather can't run from the all-new 11 Alive Thunder Truck, a mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge.
Here in Atlanta, bad weather means bad traffic. A few drops of rain could destroy a commute. But that's where my man Crash Clark comes in. I go street level, he goes next level. Together, we make sure you get to work on time. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11 Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the peach trees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11 Alive Storm Trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For Storm Trackers, only on 11 Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
This epidemic can come to an end.
We do have a flash flood warning that just...
A homeless shelter in Newton County still being forced to turn families away, nearly 6 months after strong storms ripped apart the men's quarter of the facility. Mara Siriani was on the ground in Covington the day of the storm, and she returned to speak with the shelter's director about how they're working to keep up with the need.
The sun shines bright over Covington's Rainbow Community Shelter, but folks there have experienced their fair share of rain.
This is the building that was hit by the storm. As you can see, the damage.
Director Pastor Clara Lett says the shelter serves several counties, a difficult task when one of its buildings is still in ruins after taking a direct hit from an EF1 tornado. Lett says one Saturday back in October, there were 20 men inside the building eating dinner and watching TV when the storm rolled through. Now, more than 6 months later,
you can see the tarp that's on top of the building. It's been there so long that we got gaping holes in it now, and it is raining inside the building. I'm afraid there may be mold.
Lett says the Covington Housing Authority notified her it will be at least another year before the shelter is able to receive help. In the meantime, a makeshift kitchen and dining area. Lett says the facility can't operate at full capacity until the damage is repaired.
We're having to turn away women and children daily almost because we have no availability for them.
Director of the Covington Housing Authority, Shamika Tucker, is optimistic. She says they hope to start construction on the shelter this summer. Due to COVID, materials are taking longer to order. Lett says she just wants to go back to helping as many people as possible.
And maybe, you know, sooner or later, maybe it will be before 2022 that we will have a place for them to go.
Absolutely heartbreaking. And Pastor Lett says the shelter is also hurting for volunteers. If you'd like to help them, call the number on your screen, 770-787-8519, or just go to 11alive.com and look for this story. Chesley, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Francesca. Beautiful afternoon on tap. Excuse me. It's going to be a very nice looking afternoon. You go to a window, you look outside, just brilliant skies out there. But when you step outside, you'll notice it's a bit cool out there. You're going to need at least I'd say a light jacket would do you, or a sweater. Sweater would be fine for this afternoon. Maybe just your long sleeves, right? You can get away with that. The winds have died down thanks to high pressure in our vicinity, so we have nothing but blue sky, looking gorgeous. We're at 55 degrees right now in Atlanta, 53 degrees over in Carrollton, 54 in Canton. Got some 40s up here to the far north. Both Blairsville and Clayton both at 49 degrees, so that's our cool spots. The warm spot would be Athens at 59 degrees. I think we'll all get into the 60s this afternoon. Yesterday we hit the low 60s, right around 62 degrees. Again, with those winds out there, made it feel really, really cool. This afternoon, those winds have died down thanks to high pressure that has built in, and so it's not as cool feeling, but it is a cool afternoon, though. Notice the clouds back off to the west of us. Those clouds will continue to push over toward the east as this high pressure begins to break down, and so we'll get back to the 70s tomorrow, but we're going to pay for it with extra clouds moving in. We're going to wind up with, at times, it appearing mostly cloudy on us on our Friday. The good news with that is that we're not anticipating any rain coming out of those clouds. Here it is, our forecast track model. You can follow along with me with the time right there at the top of the screen. Shows this afternoon looking gorgeous. We'll stay that way right on through the evening. By 9 o'clock tonight, we'll still be dealing with fair skies. It won't be until the overnight, going into tomorrow morning, that we'll start to notice the clouds beginning to push in. We'll get some high cirrus clouds pushing in first, and then thicker clouds will move in. By the time the sun begins to rise, we'll notice those clouds. It'll be off and on through the rest of the afternoon on Friday. But again, no green here. Not to worry about any rain coming out of the clouds on Friday. It won't be until Saturday morning early that we'll start to see some of that rain begin to push in. If you got plans for maybe a yard sale, maybe your community has that community yard sale going, note that it will be wet. May want to postpone that a bit, right? We'll have some light to moderate rain during the morning. By the time we hit the afternoon, let's say early afternoon, there will be some heavier showers pushing in. We'll watch for thunderstorms to develop once we get toward the late afternoon going into the evening. Here we are by 6:15. Some of these thunderstorms could produce some damaging winds. There is a threat for severe weather for our Saturday. You're looking at a slight risk for severe weather from Atlanta southward. That's the yellow area there. That's a level 2. Level 1 just north of that for our northern suburbs and almost up into the North Georgia mountains, or actually up to the foothills. You have a marginal risk for severe weather. What does that mean? Well, some of those thunderstorms could produce winds up to 60 miles per hour, so have to watch out for that. The good news is that for the latter half of the weekend, Sunday, we get the sunshine back. Got a 10 on the wazometer, 73 degrees for the high. And as we head into next week, those temperatures will finally heat up back into the 80s. Francesca, enjoy your afternoon.
That's what I like to hear, Chesley. All right, now we're talking about Chesley's favorite subject, the planet. It's time to go green and celebrate Earth Day. So today is Earth Day, and the students at Carrington Academy School are creating a lot of buzz. 11 Alive's photojournalist Kathy Bourne went to the school as students released thousands of ladybugs back into the environment. Even caught some cool outfits. You'll see what I mean. Check it out.
And we're each gonna get a little ladybugs on our fingers, and you're gonna put it in the plant.
Does it bite you?
No, these don't bite.
Can I have one? I'm definitely not holding it. Ladybug. There was a ladybug on there. Okay. One of my shoes. That one is free. A ladybug is on your hair.
Here, Luca, open your hand.
The ladybug is you have. I know ladybug. It's yucky. I did it. Go away, bugs.
Goodbye. All right, good job, you guys. Yay.
Thank you, Miss Brittany.
Oh, through the eyes of a child. A ladybug! I love that so much. Still ahead. Remembered as an inspiration, who've done so much. Coming up, friends of a Clayton County police officer who died in a crash tell us about his long-lasting legacy as they prepare to say a final goodbye.
Take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the Peachtrees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11 Alive Storm Trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For Storm Trackers, only on 11 Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Clayton County police officer Armando Mendoza was killed in an accident Monday morning. His friends and family are remembering him as an ambitious man with many passions. 11 Alive's Paulo Ciro helps share why his friends say the 22-year-old lived his life to the fullest.
no matter what you're going through, just keep pushing, keep going.
In his 22 years,
Young, short, life, but it was full.
Armando Mendoza collected different types of shoes, read many books, including the Bible, and just last year became a Clayton County police officer. But his biggest love was making new friends.
Mondo was that brother I prayed for.
Our relationship started a little unexpected. Of course, they say the best things happen unexpectedly.
I will never forget and never take for granted. It changed me forever.
He left a beautiful legacy.
Now they're all working on keeping that legacy alive. Clayton County police say he died Monday morning after a two-vehicle crash on Terra Boulevard and North Main Street.
The doctor told her that she wasn't going to be able to have any kids. And the next thing you know, they got Armando. And he's been a miracle ever since. And I guess I still consider him a miracle.
His girlfriend says he was an ambitious old soul who never held grudges and had so much left to give.
Forever grateful that I was part of it. I was part of his life. And he just changed my world.
I just can't think of a better person, even with the law enforcement climate. He could bridge that gap and making relationships better.
The family is planning his service for this Sunday, asking people to wear pink so that they can celebrate instead of mourn his life.
We'd always talk about whenever you get to heaven, make sure you get a piece of fried chicken. Like he said, he would always eat fried chicken and never get fat. So that was probably one of his biggest things to looking forward to. And I told him to save me a piece for whenever it's my time to come.
Can't run from the all-new 11 Alive Thunder Truck, a mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge.
Here in Atlanta, bad weather means bad traffic. A few drops of rain could destroy a commute. But that's where my man Crash Clark comes in. I go street level, he goes next level. Together, we make sure you get to work on time. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive. Hey, quick, open up your phone camera right now. Aim it at the screen to download 11 Alive's new and improved app. This QR code will take you right to the App Store or Google Play. One simple tap gives you enhanced radar, street level zoom, and severe weather alerts. It's just that easy.
Atlanta roads are my thing. ITP, OTP, Ponce, Piedmont, all the Peachtrees. Combined with Chesley's street level forecast, that's a lot of tech and experience to help your commute.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive.
We're quite the combo.
Weather changes can make or break your day. That's why the 11 Alive Storm Trackers are always watching what's coming next, delivering accessible and accurate forecasts that prepare you, not scare you. For Storm Trackers, only on 11 Alive.
COVID-19 is still spreading in Georgia. Now get facts, not fear, at 11alive.com/COVID numbers. Track cases by county using our interactive map and get the latest health department data. Visit 11alive.com/COVID numbers.
Health experts fear we're just at the start of another surge.
Residents here are some of the first seniors to get the vaccine.
This epidemic can come to an end.
We do have a flash flood warning that just popped up here.
The fallout of this is just beginning.
The bigger questions are the longer legal ramifications.
Morning news. Welcome back. A new park on Atlanta's west side will come along with a new tribute to the late Congressman John Lewis. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms posted these photos yesterday of her and Ambassador Andrew Young visiting the statue. It's set up at the new Rodney Cook Park, a project that's underway right now in the Vine City neighborhood. And she teased us, saying that the grand opening is happening soon, so you might be able to see it in person. Another way that John Lewis is leaving his legacy right here in the cradle of the civil rights movement. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'm Francesca Amaker. See you tomorrow.
We love learning about new things and sharing them with you.
We make the news make sense.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 on 11 Alive.
The Negro people had to leave. They were told to get out.
White only, no black!
1912, all but one issue has been erased.
We haven't had none up here since the 1st of the century.
What's the importance of making sure this history isn't erased?
So that it doesn't happen again.